Welcome to the You're in Charge podcast, prioritizing your self-care without sacrifice. I'm your host, Heather Dumas, healthy lifestyle strategist, owner and founder of HD Transformations Coaching Company. I am passionate about helping you juggle all the balls and look and feel like a badass doing it. Happy New Year. I hope that you had a wonderful holiday, and I hope that you are excited about 2024 and have made some plans, but not a resolution. I have every year preach about this, and every year I see people making them and failing. The stat is still that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail. So please don't bother making one. You'll probably just disappoint yourself. But why? Why do they fail? Well, because we have lofty goals. We think highly of our future selves. There's a lot of psychology behind us thinking that our future self is going to be more ambitious, more accountable, more punctual, more all of the things than our today self is. Just think about how many times you've thought about, well, I'm not going to do the XYZ today. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week because in next week I'll have more energy. Tomorrow I'll have more energy or more time or more bandwidth or whatever. And at the end of the year, it's no different. We think that our next year self is going to be that much better than our current year self. And I want that for you. I want your 2024 self to be way better than your 2023 self. Not that your 2023 self was not great, but I want you to be better. I want you to be healthier. I want you to be less stressed. And I want you to feel more like the badass you are. And it can't happen with a resolution. So beyond the typical, like, I'm going to lose weight resolutions, there's always the temptation to resolve to, you know, cook better, work out more, read more, whatever. And it's great to make plans. It's great to set goals. But what's more important is the strategy behind it. How are you going to make it happen? Great, you want to lose weight. Great, you want to start exercising. Great, you want to start cooking or eating healthy or whatever. How? The how is what matters. The how is what makes the resolution or the goal actually happen. This the strategy has to fit into your life. It has to fit into your things that you like to do. I've talked about it before that you can't decide you're going to start working out and then you're going to do dance fitness classes if you hate dancing. Or you can't like say you're going to start cooking healthy meals if you hate cooking. So you have to have a strategy that goes beyond that. I know that when I have set plans, made goals, tried to change things, I've done all kinds of programs, I've hired coaches and all the things. And the only time it's ever really worked is if there was a strategy, a plan, a structure that I could follow, that, different steps I could take along the way, milestones to meet and to check off. So think of your next year self or this year self, 2024 self. What do you want that person to have accomplished? What do you want them to have done or experienced or tried? And then we got to reverse engineer it and come up with a way to make it happen. You have to break it down into little tiny steps. It's also important to remember that this is an ongoing thing. We call them goals, but the thing with a goal, like say, for example, you have a weight loss goal. You want to lose 15 pounds. You want to lose 25 pounds. Once you accomplish that goal, it's very, very tempting to go, I did it. And then you backslide. I did it. I accomplished it. I did what I was supposed to do. Phew, done. So instead of thinking of it as a goal or a destination, think of it as a journey. Think of it as something that doesn't just happen by December 31st, but something that's going to happen every single day for the rest of your life and become part of you and part of your lifestyle and part of who you are. Shifting the focus to a long-term lifestyle instead of short-term goals absolutely changes it. It changes your approach and it changes the success rate. When my clients have made that switch in their brains that they are now creating a healthy lifestyle, it no longer becomes this feeling of being trapped, being held back, being restricted, being, I don't know what else to say, boxed in, because you don't feel like you have this, okay, well, I just have to get through 90 days, or I just have to get through 6 months, or I just have to get to December 31st, or I just have to get to that 15 pounds. When you think of it that way, your brain instantly wants you to go back to the previous self. It says, oh, yeah, we're just doing this for 90 days. After 90 days, I can go back to enjoying donuts and Coke and whatever else, right? But if you decide this is my lifestyle, this is the way I'm going to live the rest of my life, your brain starts to make it easier on you because it accepts the fact that this is who Heather is now. Heather's now a healthy person. Heather's now the type of person that makes healthy choices. Heather's now the type of person that gets up and works out every day, regardless of what is going on or how she feels. That's why I can't emphasize enough that a New Year's resolution is not the way to go. A few years ago, I did a podcast with my old podcast with my podcast partner, Ashley, and we talked about this like deep, deep, deep. And we talked about, the psychological effects of failing from your New Year's resolution, and how there's a day called, I think it's called Black Monday. And it's one specific day in, I think it's mid-January actually, where people realize they're not going to be able to maintain their resolutions and they give up. And so it's like this depressing day. I'll go back and I'll find the link to that episode, and I'll link it so that you can go back and listen to it, because it's really interesting. And it hasn't changed. And that was like 3 or 4 years ago we recorded that. And it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed for probably as long as people have been making New Year's resolutions. There's a point at which you decide it's not going to work. And not just resolutions, right? When you maybe have experienced this in your past, when you've tried to change your lifestyle, maybe you've tried new diets, maybe you've tried new exercise routines, and you get to a point where you're like, it's not working. I'm giving up. And maybe it's you actually got to the quote unquote goal and then had nowhere else to go from there. Or maybe more likely, you didn't get to the goal and you saw that it wasn't going to happen. And so you kind of threw in the towel. And that feels terrible. No one wants to fail, especially those of us that are high achievers. We don't like failing. So I don't want you to set yourself up to fail. Setting and creating New Year's resolutions, and even goal setting to a certain extent, can be a way to set yourself up for failure. Now, if you set goals that are more process driven, that are more in your control, like you can't control the scale, but you can control if you're going to get up every day and work out, those are more accomplishable. And you can set them in such a manner that there's not really an end, right? If I say, this year I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to go for a walk. By the time I get to December 31st, I'm not going to feel like, oh, check, I made it. Now I can go back to being old me, because I will have done it for 365 days, hopefully, or close to it, maybe 300 days. And now it's become a habit. Now it's become part of my identity and who I am and what I do every day. That is how you create a permanent shift. That is how you become a healthier person, is by creating the opportunity for yourself to be successful over and over and over. So as you go through this next few weeks and you start your year off and you start thinking about what you want this year, I want to encourage you to think of things a little differently. I want to encourage you to not set goals per se that have an end date or an end number, those SMART goals. I want you to think of creating opportunities to be successful. I want you to think of creating ways to make your life better, make yourself feel better, as well as create boxes to check, because we know we love checking boxes, right? That is why I want to invite you to this workshop that I am hosting this week. It is called Revamp, Not Resolve. And it is exactly as it sounds. We are going to revamp your plans. We are going to revamp your approach. And it's very much interactive. So instead of creating a New Year's resolution, we are going to create a plan, and a plan that you will want to follow, that will be successful, that shows you some personal blockers some solutions that are tailored to your life and the things that are going on in your life that you want to change. And the plan is going to be actionable. I'm going to be hands-on working with you and the others in the workshop. It is not a webinar. It is not a, floofy thing. It is straight action, straight work. Now, I recently signed up for a workshop and I had all the intention in the world of doing it. I really wanted to learn what this person was teaching. I tuned in live, which, usually I watch the replay. And if you're going to join me, please don't just watch the replay. Yes, there will be one, but please join me live because this will be interactive. This will be you and I having a conversation back and forth, other people having conversations with me that is going to give you an opportunity to go, oh, one, you're not alone. And you're probably not struggling on the, by yourself. Other people are going through what you're going through. And two, it's going to give you the opportunity to ask questions and um, get my eyes and my brain on what's going on with you and help you start to get through these barriers, get through these things that these walls, I call them brick walls that you just keep running into that are not allowing you to move forward into the body, into the lifestyle, into the human that you want to be. So, this workshop I signed up for, I did attend live. I downloaded the workbook, but I didn't actually do the work. I haven't even opened the file that I downloaded. And I was thinking about it the other day because I paid for it. I paid a significant amount of money for it. And I was like, Heather, why didn't you do that? And I think it's because one, I didn't feel like I was getting what I wanted out of the workshop. It felt kind of like generic stuff. That is not what I want for you. That is not what I'm going to give you. In fact, if you join me and you don't get what you want, I'm going to give you your money back, period. I don't want you to leave the workbook sitting unopened on your computer. If that is happening, please reach out to me, but it's not going to. Because if you join me live, which is the big part of it, you join me live and you do the work, it's going to make a change. It's not going to be yet another thing that you signed up for that is collecting dust in your Google Drive folder like mine is. And I do have all the intentions in the world of going back and actually doing the work in that workshop, but I have other priorities and I'm not choosing to put that one above those right now. And I don't want you to choose to not put yourself above your other priorities because you are worthy of being number one. You are not a resolution. Your health is not a resolution. It is not a goal. It is a necessity. It is a priority. It should be your number one priority. And that's what this workshop is going to be for. We're going to revamp the way you think of things. We're going to revamp the way that you're doing things and create a really easy way for you to start moving toward that badass self of yours, that badass self that you should be and that you want to be and that you are. And it's going to be quick. It's going to be action-packed, and it is going to be on January 8th. So I want you to sign up right away. Grab your ticket and then put it in your calendar, set reminders. I'll be emailing you reminders, but still put it in your calendar. Let's get some progress made toward your next year you that will actually stick. Let's not be part of that 80% that fail, that end up back where you are right now or worse. Because PS, most the average is when you start a new diet or new whatever, and then either stop or fall off, you gain 11 pounds on average for each try that you make. So if you're wondering why your weight has been progressively creeping up as you're trying to do everything but that, that's probably why. It's not complicated. It's not hard. It's just a matter of knowing the right way to do it. So I want to do it with you. I want this to be the best year yet for you, health-wise, energy-wise, stress-wise, everything. I want this to be a great year for you, and I want to be part of it and help you to make that happen and make it a permanent, healthy lifestyle strategy change, not just a resolution for now until whenever, December 31st, and then we go back to the 2023 version of ourselves. So please grab your ticket. Please join me. I look forward to seeing you there. And Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, you're in charge. You're the only one who can create the life and the body you desire. You and only you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to cheer you on and occasionally to give you the kick in the ass you need to make it happen. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. If you found value in today's episode, please hit subscribe. It'll bring all the newest episodes to the top of your list. You won't have to worry about it. One less thing. And I would love for you to share it with your most stressed out, frazzled friend. She needs it even more than you do. If you have a question or a topic that you'd like me to cover, reach out, shoot me a message on any of the socials or directly on my website. I would love to hear your idea, your question, and I'm always looking for new ones. Until next time, keep being the badass you are, and remember, you are in charge.